Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Because my head, I tend to nearly nod off.
Yeah.
And I wake myself up.
By going like this?
Yes, constantly.
Right.
And
Right.
I get a sore neck.
Well, we don't want that. We don't want that. Well, do what feels right, okay? I mean, if you can still get the rest and your head is resting on something, then you do what feels right for you, okay? Remember, you're your own guru, all right? You trial a few things. There might be an ideal, but if the ideal doesn't work for you, then you make your own ideal, okay? But generally speaking, you want to keep your head free. If you find that you're like going like this, remember, just if you feel like you're going to sleep, just bring your chin to your chest. That's totally fine. Or your head might be here and you just feel this blissful heaviness. You don't need to lift it back up. You can stay like this. Just do what feels comfortable for you. But generally speaking, if you can comfortably sit with your back supported and just have your head free, best thing to do. But then there are degrees of that, okay? Anyone else want to share an experience they've had meditating? Feeling more energy when you're doing it? The ones that are doing it? Yeah? Good. Good, 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 good. All right, just remember, 93% of diseases caused by inflammation are preventable through the practice of meditation, right? So the thing that you can do to keep yourself healthy and inflammation down in your body is meditate. Even if, guys, you just sit down, set your timers for 10, 15, or 20 minutes, and close your eyes. Not even having a focal point, not putting your awareness on your breath or using a mantra. If you just closed your eyes and witnessed your thoughts one after the other, if I had you all wired up, your heart rate would be dropping, your intake of oxygen would be decreasing, your blood pressure would be decreasing. So really just giving yourself time. 5-minute mind breaks, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Just give yourself that time and recharge your battery. It's so important because science is moving in a direction where we're starting to recognize that consciousness creates your biology. They even are doing studies now that specific stresses cause specific illnesses in your body, even specific jobs that you have. Lawyers are getting this, and accountants are getting this, and there's a theme that's coming out that specific illnesses are causing specific stresses in your body. So this is a way that you can prevent this from happening. Remember, so many units of stress in your body, you will age more quickly. And we cannot cope in this day and age. We are actually aging 1.5 years for every year now, just by the stress units we're putting on our nervous system. You want something to age more quickly, you put stress on it. I was listening to a wonderful TED Talks today, and I had never heard this one before. I don't know any of you have, but there was a study done at Harvard University, and it continues till today. They took 720 men and followed them through 75 years of life. Has anyone heard about this? Extraordinary. And it continues to go on, and they're studying their wives and they're studying the children. Many of the men are now in their 90s. But what they did was they studied what made these people happy in their lifetime. At the same time recently, they did a survey and gave it to a bunch of millennials, people from our generation, from this one, and they asked them, what are your goals in life? What do you think will make you happy? Well, 80% of them said, money will make me happy, I want to be rich. And 50% of them said, what was the second one? What did you say? Famous, exactly. They showed a picture of a rock star, right, being famous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really. So, what made people happy in the 75 people that were followed in their lifetime was actually the type of relationships that they had in their life. Whether or not they had community in their life, if they had family in their life, and not just a lot of people, but the quality of the type of the relationship that they had with these people was what was so profound. So when you are in a good relationship, love it. Somebody who loves you is calling you. Isn't that wonderful? Don't miss it. Answer quick. Don't hang up on them. No, it's okay. Anyway, so really, to be mindful. No, it's loud. Make it loud. Leva loves it. I'll make you all get up and dance. It'll be good. So the quality of the relationships that you had, Not only that, the longevity of the people that had these meaningful relationships in their lives, they lived longer. And the people that were in relationships where they weren't having a positive experience or they felt lonely in those relationships had an increase in their memory loss and an increase in dementia. So fascinating, so fascinating. I get chills talking about it. Just Google, Harvard study, 75 years, men, something like that, and it'll come up. It's a TED Talk, so I'll get the name of the guy when I can look on my phone afterwards, or come meet me in the lobby and I'll show it to you. So just so profound, this idea of the relationships in your life and making them meaningful. And for those of you who are married, I've been married for 11 years, there are 13 actually now. What happened to those last few? Just being mindful that every relationship, whether you stay married in it or not, sometimes needs a renewal of friendship. Something needs to change, something needs to shift. And sometimes it's you, and when you shift, other people shift, right? Not getting too personal, but my husband and I were a bit taking for granted one another and the way we communicated with each other. And with 5 children, you can complain about this and that, or maybe the housekeeper or this person or that. And I said, you know what? I've decided today that I'm not going to be available for this kind of communication with you anymore. I love you very much, but I'm not going to be available for it anymore. So what I am available for is, darling, how are you today? How was your day? Or, sweetheart, what are you feeling today? What are you experiencing? And changing the way we communicated with each other. Now, it got him really annoyed at first. But then when he saw, I said, I'll be downstairs when you want to come play with me. Things started to change. And now we're like this. It's just so beautiful to have that connection. I have my aunt in the room over here, so she's hearing the secrets in our family, but I trust her. She's amazing. So, you change, then somebody else changes. If you expect somebody else to change so that you can be happy, well, we know that story. You'll be waiting for a very long time, right? So get yourself happy. Put the mirror back on yourself. See, that whole story I spoke about before. Give what you want to receive, right? Give what you want to receive. And meditation creates that bowl of adaptation energy so that you have the ability to remember, stop in every moment, T, think, O, observe, P, proceed. It gives you that space. So when that stress trigger heightens up in your nervous system and you feel like you can't control the situation, whether it's your husband, your boss, or your children, or a parent, you feel it, a stress memory has been triggered. You have the space to go, am I going to witness this person, or am I going to engage with them? And if I choose to engage, am I going to be reactive, or am I going to be proactive? You really can start controlling your responses. The more you meditate, you get to control your responses more and more and more and more. Now, that's enough talking for today. 5, 10, 15, anyway. I want to teach you a breathing technique. Anybody want to learn a breathing technique? Now, you don't have to do a breathing technique before you meditate. It's just tweaking you, taking you up a gear, okay? When you have the extra time, if you do a breathing technique, it actually slows everything down much more quickly before you start meditating. And the experience, depending on 3 to 5 minutes how long you do it, you will notice that after you finish the breathing technique, you'll be sitting there starting to meditate, and you won't be taking a breath. It slows down your breathing. It brings everything slow, 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 slow. In terms of your meditation, there's that turbulence that happens often when we sit down with ourselves, that first wave of thoughts that comes through us, right? When you do a breathing technique, you find that you meditate more deeply, more quickly. It's just like diving into the deep end, okay? It's very easy. We're going to do 5 rounds of it on each side to keep it very simple. Don't do it yet, just watch me, and I'm going to talk you through it, okay? So basically, I use my thumb on one nostril, and these 2 fingers on the other. It doesn't really matter. You just want to cover one side, and then eventually you will cover the other side. So what we do is, it's going to be out on the left side, all the way out, then in on the left side. And we're going to hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's going to be out on the left side again. And then in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically we're going to do this out, in, 5 times on that side. And then we're going to switch to the other side and do out, in, 5 times on the other side. Okay? I'm going to talk you through it the whole way. You can keep your eyes open while you're doing it, or you can keep your eyes closed while you're doing it. But then we're going to go straight into our meditation. Anybody here for the first time in this series? Wonderful. For those of you that are here for the first time, have you meditated ever before? Great. Anyone? Anyone haven't ever meditated? Hi. So what you will do is you will close your eyes and you will just daydream. No such thing as clearing your mind of thoughts. You are just going to daydream. Okay? Great. All right, everybody. Let's begin in a moment. I'm going to sit down in a minute. Let's do this away. Okay. Thumb on your right nostril. We're going to go out. Push it out. And then in. Hold for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. You can go at your own pace too if you feel more comfortable. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch sides. Out. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now close your eyes. And you can begin to meditate. Just remember, keep your eyes closed the whole thing. Remember, this is an effortless practice. We don't resist thoughts. We don't resist noise. We don't resist the mantra changing or disappearing. Or if you have your awareness on your breath, we don't change our breath, we just witness it. Just take it as it comes. No pushing thoughts away, just witnessing them. And when you recognize you're off daydreaming, gently come back to your focal point. I'll keep the time. Let's begin. bad thing for a phone to go off because it gives you a sense of how deep you were. Everything happens for all reasons, right? So keep your eyes closed. We're going to come out slowly, and I'd like you to do something with your eyes closed in these couple of minutes. We're going to do a little exercise, but keep your eyes closed. As your eyes are closed, I want you to ask yourself this question. You don't have to have an answer, but just ask yourself the question, who am I? Who am I? Just think about it, whatever comes to your mind. You don't have to have an answer. Just think about it. Who am I? The next question is, what do I want? What do I want? Again, you don't need to have an answer, but think about it. If you do, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But ponder on that thought. What do I want that I don't have in my life? And picture yourself having it. Next question, what am I thankful for? What am I thankful for? What am I thankful for? Lastly, what is my purpose? What is my purpose to me? It won't be the same answer for all of you. And again, you don't even need to have an answer if you don't. Just ask the question, what is my purpose? Take a couple minutes, and when you feel ready, you can slowly open your eyes, very slowly. So, the phone went off. Thank you. It was a gift whose ever phone it went off. Whose ever phone went off. A change in expectation, right? Everyone had expected to be able to get through the entire meditation without a single interruption. We had a change in expectation. How do we handle change in expectations, right? Pretty tricky. When you're rigidly attached to the outcome and you expect it to be a particular way and it doesn't go that way, what do? Do we fall apart when it doesn't go our way? Or do we take a deep breath? Everything happens for all reasons. Might not be revealed to us today, but I have trust. It happened for good reason. I get to talk about it now because it went off. I'm so happy, and it's such a great topic. How do you manage your change in expectations when things don't go your way? Are you reactive? Did you shush the person? Did you groan? Were you devastated? Or did you recognize they were probably hard enough on themselves, they didn't really need you to do it as well? Interesting. I think these challenges and these things come so that They refine our instrument even more so that next time when it happens and it really counts, or you're with your fiancé or whoever it is, and you respond artfully and gracefully and beautifully, right? I love, my teacher once taught me about living life with the elephant's pace. So what is the elephant's pace, you know? The elephant is strong and grand and secure and stable, but the elephant is also graceful. The elephant, I should do this without my shoes on. The elephant takes a pace and a walk, and then again, and then again, very peacefully, one step at a time, not even rushing. And then at one point, the elephant steps and lifts up her foot, and the dogs start barking. Ruff, 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 ruff. Lower states of consciousness all around. Ruff, 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 ruff. And what does the elephant do? She waits. She witnesses and waits. And eventually the dogs stop barking, and she continues on with her elephant's pace. Right? So I wish for you all, for the rest of your week, that you're able to respond in every what you think is a difficult situation with an elephant's pace in mind. Or even think about somebody in your mind who you always love the way that they respond in difficult situations. Does everybody have somebody in mind that you look up to that manages to always choose to be more loving than right in every situation? Is there somebody that you know that is like this, right? You can aspire to that person. You can change and be that person too. Continue to meditate. It'll help upgrade this hardware of old responses. And even this week, take note of the way in which certain stress memories, when they get triggered, you always respond the same way. It's a pattern. Know your patterns. Know how you keep responding the same way when my mother does that thing or my husband does that thing. I continue to do this every time. See if this week you can change that pattern. See if you can do it differently this time. And watch what happens. Watch how they start to change. What does that great quote, be the change you want to see around you? That's what it means. And when you meditate, the other great quote, you are changing the level of thinking that the problems were created on. You're moving to the back row of the movie theater. You're getting perspective instead of being in the front row, right? Take control over what you bring into this world and the way in which you relate to another person and the kind of loving relationship you can bring to every relationship that you have. Do your part and take responsibility for the baggage that you're carrying in every moment instead of blaming somebody else for triggering it in you. Own up to what's your stuff and be more loving than right in every argument. Have a great night. I'll be out in the lobby if you want to come spend some time with me.